Good afternoon, everybody. Julio Rosas here, senior writer for Town Hall. I am here with Mr. Samuel Hall. He's with Patriots for America. It is a militia group that has been comprised of just regular civilians patrolling the border. We're going to talk to him for a little bit about what he's seen and why he's doing it. So, Sam, thanks for joining us here today.
Yes, sir.
What spurred you and other people in your group to start patrolling the border? I mean, as civilians, you're not law enforcement. I'm assuming you have some guys in military or law enforcement background.
Of course.
But you're not doing this as part of Border Patrol or the Texas Highway Troopers. So why did you guys decide to start doing this?
Well, PFA militia, we got a call from Sheriff Coe in Kinney County that they needed help. There was a call to action. And so what turned into a 72-hour notice later turned into a 24-hour notice, and they needed help right away because they had intel that there was going to be a surge, influx of Haitians. They didn't know how they were going to handle it. So we answered the call, and we went down there and just literally, Julio, on a leap of faith. We didn't know what was going to happen, how it was going to work out, what doors were going to open or close, but we believed in God. We took that step, and now God's opened up a ton more doors, and now we're making an even bigger difference in 3 counties.
And explain kind of how that works. Like what kind of deal? So obviously you guys just didn't do it on your own. You responded to a call from the sheriff. And so how does that work? What happens if you encounter a group of illegal immigrants that have just recently crossed into the United States?
Yeah. So PFA militia, we're a faith-based organization, right? We don't intimidate anybody. We certainly don't want to hurt anybody, right? What we want to do is we want to be the hands and feet of Christ, but still withhold our nation's laws, right? We're a nation of law. So if we come across illegal immigrants, what we want to do first and foremost is make sure they're not dangerous, right? Our safety is paramount as well. We want to go home to our families. So we make sure they're not dangerous, and then we make sure that they have food and water. If they need medical help, we have EMTs and paramedics on the team. We have our med packs. And then we want to make sure that if there's any children, that the children aren't being trafficked. We ask them if these are, their parents. And then after that, we call the county, and then the county comes in, Julio, and they process the IAs. And so that's kind of how that works. We don't arrest or detain. We can't legally do that. We don't wear badges, right? We take care of them, and we kind of stall them, if you will, disrupt and frustrate until law enforcement gets there, and then they go ahead and they process them however they see fit.
Now, because this is the border, right? I mean, this is a little bit of the Wild West still.
It is.
So you guys do carry firearms when you're out there,
Oh,
right?
100%. Yeah, bulletproof vests, firearms, both ARs, long guns, shotguns, and handguns. Yes.
And it's not to go against the women and children. It's in case you guys come up upon maybe drug traffickers, maybe people who are maybe more hardened criminals. I mean, again, that's not something everyday Americans for the rest of the country have to think about, but. It's pretty interesting that as a militia, because militias it was help found this country,
right?
And once again that concept is now being used to, at the very least, make sure that people just aren't trying to skirt by, because Border Patrol is very overwhelmed. You said you started in 1 county, now you're in 3 counties. Are you planning to expand operations further into that, or are you just trying to triage wherever you guys are needed?
Right now Maverick County is experiencing the biggest surge right now, right? I think the surge kind of went from Del Rio, and now the surge is in Eagle Pass, right? So we have our hands full there. The vetting process of getting qualified guys that have no intention of hurting anybody unless their life is threatened. Qualified guys that are down there have a good situational IQ awareness to know exactly what's happening, the danger of the situation, and been able to de-escalate a situation if it occurs. That's a process. We have an application process, and then I do a final interview myself because, listen, if anything happens, it's going to fall on PFA.
Right.
So we have to make sure the guys that come, and we've had guys from Chicago, Florida, Georgia, and all over Texas come and operate with us, but we want to make sure they're qualified guys. So if we're going to expand, Julio, what we have to do is make sure that we're expanding with the qualified members, and right now we have our hands full in Maverick County, not to mention Val Verde, and obviously still Kinney County. So.
What has the response been from some of the other sheriffs, or maybe from some of the ranchers that you have to work with? And because that's what Texas is, a large part of it. It is these privately owned ranches. What has been the response been from some of the local population from what you guys do?
With the sheriff, all the sheriffs, Sheriff Martinez, Sheriff Coe, Sheriff Nolasco, we've met with all of them. It's been fantastic. It's actually been really welcoming. And I was a little bit concerned with Sheriff Martinez because, again, he's a Democrat, and so is the judge. But they are fed up with Biden's administration, not just engineering, but perpetuating this problem. And so I sat in, Judge Lewis's office for an hour, and he went on about how he's tired of Biden. He's tired of their legislation, their policies, and that it's wrecking their county there in Val Verde. So even across the aisle, we have people that are fed up on both sides. And so the sheriffs have been wonderful. The ranchers, flip a coin. Some ranchers definitely love us. They want us to help work their land. Listen, we don't charge them, anything. We do everything for free. We don't charge anybody any money. We're just there to make a positive impact for these counties and protect and secure our border. But other ranchers, Julio, they're very afraid. They're very afraid. One rancher told me this. He said, when you guys leave, I still have to be here. And he's scared of cartel retaliation. They're also scared of the legal liability piece. And believe it or not, that's huge. If something happens on their land, what's the state going to do? Are they going to be sued? Are they going to lose, their ranch that's been in their families, some of them over 100 years? So that's a big concern that ranchers have as well on the border. So it's a lot of fear is what it is.
What's been the most intense situation you guys find yourself in since you guys started doing this?
The most intense so far would, that's a good question. Julio, probably Maverick County. Maverick County. We were pulling illegals out of a fire. There's a island right there at the boat ramp there in Eagle Pass.
Yep.
There's a little island right there on the river, and we were there. I got it all on video. I got the whole thing on video, and they started a fire, and it became huge, and we ran over to the National Guard, 3 Humvees, nobody's in them. So we run over to more Humvees, finally get them over there. They had the boats come and help put out the fire, but then you have all these, illegals trying to escape the fire coming on over to the American side, and then you have some that are still stuck in the fire. So me and my captain went into the fire, went into the brush, and started trying to help pull these people out. So, and with it being so dry and all that brush, and it spread really, really quickly. Not to mention the wind was kicking about 25 miles per hour that day. So that fire was moving quick.
Sounds pretty racist to me, saving brown people from a fire.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys get that accusation that you guys are a bunch of white supremacists trying to intimidate?
Absolutely. If you're a militia, and here's this, and it's unfortunate, but it's the world we live in, right? If you're white guys with guns and you call yourself a militia, you must be a racist, you must be hate rhetoric. Listen, PFA is a diverse community of patriots. We have black, Hispanic, white. We don't look at your color of your skin. We look at the contents of your character, right? And we're patriots for America, right? Yeah. America's a melting pot. We can't call ourselves patriots for white people, right? We got to call ourselves patriots for America. And if America's a melting pot, well, then that includes all races and all cultures. Though what we do expect is that you bleed red, white, and blue, that you stand up for our constitutional rights, and that you're a conservative patriot. That's what our expectations are.
And to kind of wrap things up here, what are you expecting for this summer? I mean, we're already at 150 encounters in the month of January, which January typically is a slow month under normal circumstances, but we're already well above even February of last year. February was 100,000 in 2021. So, I mean, do you expect you guys to be very, very busy as well this summer?
Absolutely. So I had a conversation with Sheriff Coe, about 4 weeks ago, and he said, usually this is when it starts picking up. But for him, it never died down. Yeah. So, we're expecting, obviously an influx of more, illegals coming across. And, of course, with that, you have, nonviolent, right? Families looking for a better life. Kids. But then you have your drug smugglers, your cartel, your human trafficking. And it's all mixed. And it's kind of hard to have the wisdom and discernment to know who's who. Okay. So we treat everybody as if they're nonviolent unless they pose a threat to us. And thank God, Julio, we have not been in that situation yet. And I pray that we aren't. So if we can do this a peaceful, humanitarian way, be the hands and feet of Christ, but still make an impact for our state and for our country, that's the ultimate goal.
All right. Well, Sam, good luck down there. I'm sure I'll join you sometime soon.
I sure hope so.
And you guys can continue following us for the live coverage here at CPAC.